Sono Ferdinando Scianna. Grazie di
My
essere
name is
venuti a
Ferdinando
visitare la
Scianna.
mostra.
Thank you for
Sono
coming to visit
siciliano.
my exhibition.
Sono nato a
I'm
Badia.
Sicilian. I was born in Bagheria, near Palermo, at midday on the 4th of July 1943.
Quasi contemporaneamente
Almost at
la
the same
fattoria della
time,
casa
a bomb
esplose.
exploded a few meters from the house.
Furono morti.
There were deaths.
Caricarono mia
They
madre
loaded my mother on a cart,
e si rifugiarono
and we fled to the countryside to take refuge in a tool shed.
niente acqua.
No water or electricity.
Mia madre ebbe
My
un
mother's
grande
breasts were full of milk.
Non dare.
Don't give it to him.
Il latte è
It's
spaventato.
frightened milk. It can kill the child, the old women used to say.
Si cercò in
They
giro
went
di
to look
trovare.
for a breast pump.
Erano tempi di
It was wartime.
non si trovava.
None could be found.
Non sapevano.
They didn't know what to do. An elderly relative came up with a solution.
Bendarono mia
They
madre
bandaged my mother so she wouldn't be alarmed
e le fecero
and made her attach a puppy to her breast to release that frightened milk.
Quando dissi a mio padre
When I
che
told my father that I wanted to be a photographer,
capì che dicevo
and he realized I was serious,
ne rimase
he was appalled.
mi aveva sognato me.
He had dreamed of me becoming a doctor or an engineer. He couldn't believe it. What kind of profession is that? He kept repeating, what kind of profession is that? And then he said something memorable. A photographer, someone who kills the living and brings the dead to life. Much later, I understood the philosophical depth of this phrase. The fact is that, when my father was a little boy, there was only one photographer in the town. He was called Coglitore. Partly out of superstition, partly out of Islamic mistrust, many old people would never let themselves be photographed, nor would they give in to the bewitching cajolery of those who asked them to do so.
Accadeva dunque
When they died,
morisse
their relatives would ask Coglitore to take a portrait of the corpse that he would then, with great expertise in retouching, give the look and appearance of life.
non sembrano vivi.
Don't they seem alive? Coglitore would exclaim with pride, showing the portrait which was intended for the glass ceramic oval of the tomb.
Ma
But
causa di tanto
because of all this specialization,
pare che i
it seems that Coglitore's portraits gave the living a rather cadaverous air.
fotografare la Sicilia
Photographing Sicily goes without saying for me. I began to take photographs at around 17 years of age, and Sicily was there. Indeed, I began to take photographs because Sicily was there, perhaps to understand it, and through the photographs to try to understand what it means to be Sicilian. This is an obsessive question among Sicilians about themselves and the land to which they belong. A question that persists, perhaps even more obsessively, when they move away from Sicily. When you leave, the anxiety of nostalgia begins, the transfiguration of memories, the much dreamed of but impossible return, to the point that all this is transformed into rancor, almost into another flight. You try to forget Sicily, plunging into an exploration of the world only to discover that the way we see the world is unequivocally through Sicilian eyes. For me, perhaps for all the generation to which I belong, I think the matter of memory was very present even when I was living in Sicily. Not only did we know that we would be leaving, but we also guessed that the world we were about to leave, that too would go away. It would disappear forever. And so it was. Return became doubly impossible. We have changed, and our Ithaca has disappeared. There's the Sicily of today, certain, vibrant, strong, tragic. This is also ours. But what we insist on looking for is the other Sicily, the one that is no longer there, the one to which we belong without any regret. Sicily remembered, therefore, experienced from the outset through the imperfect lens of a camera that sought to rediscover the past. The world, not only Sicily and I with it, has changed in the last 40 years more than in the previous 2,000 years. I don't know if I can understand and explain in what way precisely Sicily has changed. The light, the smells, the tastes, the special intelligence of the conversations with friends do not seem to me to have changed much. This is why the wound of having left remains open. But unchanged, in some ways worse, I also rediscover the reasons why I escaped from Sicily. You don't leave Sicily, you escape.